So you have a family, and it's growing, and you might need a bigger car to accommodate them all. Enter the Honda Odyssey, one of the best minivans on sale. But you might be curious, is this the best option for me? And if not, what else is out there? We here at Edmunds have been testing minivans for decades, and now teaming up with the experts at CarMax, we're the right people to ask if you're looking for a new family hauler. Honda's been building and continually improving the Odyssey for an impressive 30 years. And over the course of that time, they've gotten pretty darn good at perfecting the formula for the perfect family vehicle. And that's why you will see this guy literally everywhere. That's because it has features like seating for up to 8 passengers, the now common fold-flat third row, which Honda invented, by the way, which provides lots of flat cargo space when you need it. When the seats are up, this deep well allows a double stroller and room for tonight's dinner. One other nice feature you'll find in the Odyssey is that those same seats can go into tailgate mode for those Saturday morning games. How cool are you? And there's a bunch of other pretty great features too, like an in-car intercom, which means the kids in the back can even hear you. No, we're not there yet. And there's even an available passenger view camera with pinch to zoom, so you can find out who the fussy one is. Trust me, this is the tech that you didn't know you needed. Now you have to take a look at Honda's trick second row seating. Check this out. All Odysseys come with a bench-style second row seat standard. Remove this center seat and the magic show starts. So with the middle seat out, you can now move the outside seats side to side. And you can move this seat back to the middle, giving you a ton of access to the third row seat so you can buckle up the little ones. And a note while we're here, the seat belts are attached to the actual seat and not the wall. And that means that no matter where you move these seats, the belts aren't going to get in your way. You get a total of 5 seats with lower anchors, so you've got lots of options for attaching car seats. Additionally, the second row could be removed for even more cargo space. One possible big knock against the Odyssey, though, is the location of these vents. Why, you might be wondering? Well, we found that overhead vents are just better at keeping little ones cool in rear-facing child seats. Here in the way back, there is a decent amount of space for an adult. You've got things like cup holders, sun visors, and even though we'd prefer more, you do have at least one USB port. Overall, this is not a bad place to park for a road trip. Bigger kids in both rows can see the Odyssey's available flip-down rear entertainment screen. You can stream content wirelessly, use the DVD player up front, or connect a separate device via HDMI. There's even a How Much Farther app that connects to the navigation system, so you don't have to answer that question. And just a note, but with this screen folded down, it does block your view a little bit. Up here in the command center, let's face it, you need comfort and convenience. And here you have a ton of space. You've also got a lot of storage for small items. A little drawer here with an adjustable divider. You've also got a pretty large center console, which is even big enough for a handbag. But you don't have to keep it there because you've actually got a purse hook right there. Things like an adjustable armrest, good-sized cup holders here, 2 in each door for that morning cup of joe or that nice big bottle of water. It's a multitasker's paradise with smartphone integration, a big center display, and quick functions in these buttons, which is super handy when your attention is divided by traffic and coming up with the 23rd farm animal for Old MacDonald. The downside, this has the fewest USB ports in the vans we're talking about today, but you do get 3 12-volt plugs, including this one, which is handy for moms who need to pump on the go. The Odyssey feels good from behind the wheel. Based on our testing, the strong V6 and smart transmission make this the best minivan to drive, making merging and passing, even with a full load of passengers, smooth and easy. But the efficiency numbers are not great here. Owning an Odyssey means you're going to stop more frequently for fuel, and you're going to pay more for gas than you would with a similarly priced competitor. Speaking of which, most Hondas have a Toyota counterpart, and if the Odyssey is on your list, you should also check out the Toyota Sienna. You'll get many of the same family features as the Odyssey, plus a few fun kicks. One of the biggest differences, though, is that in 2021 models or newer, they're all hybrids, which means you can expect some really good fuel efficiency. In fact, the Sienna is so much more fuel efficient than the Odyssey. You can get an extra 200 miles of range before you run out of gas. And that is a big deal. Another advantage is that the Sienna is available with all-wheel drive for a little added confidence in rain and on weekend ski trips. And while those advantages are really nice, the Sienna is slower when you're merging or passing, especially when it's loaded up with kids and cargo. There's an available kick motion open on these sliding doors, which is amazing when you've got things in your hands. The only thing is these doors, however, don't quite open as wide as some of the other minivans, which makes it a little bit harder to access the second and third rows. But don't despair, there's a cool trick back here. Look how far the second row can slide forwards and backwards. That means you can get a lot of extra legroom or space for large rear-facing seats when you need them, or easier access to the third row. But do note though, even with the available bench seat, the second row only has lower anchors for 2 kids, not 3 like the Odyssey. The Sienna does have ceiling vents and 4-zone climate control, which is great for keeping all the kids comfy, including in rear-facing car seats. Here in the way back, there is a good amount of space. You've got options for drinks and for charging, and overall, adults are going to be pretty comfy back here. Older kids will appreciate that the optional overhead entertainment screen is a little bigger here than it is in the Odyssey. Okay, but there is one minor issue. Because the airbags are actually integrated into the second row seat, you can't remove them like you can in some minivans to maximize cargo space. So that might not be a huge issue for you, but just something to keep in mind if you're going to go do things like visit a home improvement store. Up front, there's a good amount of space here. You've got really thoughtful features like armrests. They don't adjust, but they're really comfortable. USB charging ports, there's a lot of, 1 there and 2 over here. There's also a massive center console, and when I say massive, I am not joking. You've got this under shelf where you can put a purse, a laptop, a whole bunch of things, and it even has dividers that come out to keep you organized. If you're a beverage person, this car has got you covered. 2 cup holders here, 2 in each of the side door panels. They're not super deep and they're kind of hard to access, but they're still there. And you've got 2 up front here. Now, the one thing I will say is if you do put something in that front cup holder, it does kind of hide the buttons a bit, so we don't love that. You get a nice screen and smartphone integration. The wireless charging pad here is nice, but it doesn't do a good job of holding it in place while you're driving. You also get an intercom like the Odyssey, but no cabin view camera, just this little mirror. Another nice feature is that there's an available digital rear view mirror to peek past the car seats to give you a better view of what's behind you. In the back, this trunk is quite good. It's the widest and the deepest that we've seen of all 3 minivans we looked at by a couple of inches. And the genius thing, if you're juggling, let's say, kids or groceries or both, you can actually fold up and down these seats with just 1 hand. And that's kind of cool. The Chrysler Pacifica, brought to you by the same folks that invented the minivan back in 1983. Check out that wood paneling. But fast forward to today and you'll find a minivan with some pretty innovative features. Features like this super smart collapsible stow and go seating make creating second row space super easy. Check this out.
Nope, no stow and go.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so no stow and go because underneath the floorboards, there's a big old battery. That's right. This is a plug-in hybrid. The only plug-in hybrid minivan on the market, in fact. That battery plus a small electric motor means that it can drive like an EV, using no gas for over 30 miles, which is perfect for a morning carpool run. And with home charging, trips to the gas station will be rare. When you really need extra cargo space, you can remove the Pacifica Hybrid second row seats entirely. The seats tilt forward to give you access to the third row, which is great. But unlike the other two minivans we looked at, the seat belts are attached to the wall and not to the seat. So that means if you use them to install car seats, you're going to have to unbuckle them before you move the seat. Back here, the Pacifica has up to 4 sets of lower anchors, but just be aware that one set takes up 2 of the 3 seats in the third row, so you can't use it for belt positioning bolsters. But other than that, there is a decent amount of space back here, just a little bit less than the other two. One last note about this middle row, you can't remove the headrest without doing some major surgery on the seat. So make sure to test any forward-facing car seats you own, because some just aren't going to fit snugly with these headrests in place. Up here, you have a really decent amount of space, and this nice-looking touchscreen in the center. You've also got seamless smartphone integration with wireless and USB. Speaking of which, you do have multiple USBs, and you even have cup holders that are in the right spot. The cup holders are positioned well so that when you actually have a cup in them, it doesn't block any of your buttons. And this center console, while not as big as some of the other vehicles, and it can't fit a handbag, it still is ample to get the job done. Once you have your kids in, you can get the option of peeking at them without turning around with a camera system that can look at every seat. Although in practice, we prefer the view that you get with the Odyssey's optional in-car camera setup. The top-down view is more awkward than the Odyssey's, but good for checking on rear-facing seats. I have to say the tech in the back is pretty impressive. The available entertainment option gives you individual screens behind each of the front seats. And like I said before, there are tons of USB and charging options, including even in the back. And in case you were wondering, yes, it does have those coveted overhead vents. Minivans are the best you can get for practicality, with tons of interior space and sliding doors that make it easy to get kids in and out without dinging any cars in the mall parking lot. And the Odyssey is a great choice. But depending if you want something super efficient with a great back seat, or maybe a plug-in hybrid, there are plenty of smart options. Share which one you would pick and why in the comments below.